Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode in the series, The Complete Beginner's Guide to Polytopia. So, if you open up the game, you'll be faced with this screen. Down here is Settings, where you can turn on some things. You might want to turn Suggestions on and confirm Turn on. Here is the high score for the Perfection game mode, which I'll cover later for all the different tribes. Here is my information about what I have done. And this is about Midjiwan, who is the creator of Polytopia. There's this button here, which is News. This just tells you again about everything that's going on in Polytopia right now. Over here is the weekly challenge. Every week there will be a new challenge, and every day you'll be able to make a new attempt to try to get the highest score possible in Perfection. Now, if you press Quit here, it brings you back out of the app. If you click Multiplayer, it brings you to Online Services. If you click New Game here, it'll bring you to this screen. Now, in this screen, there are 3 game modes you can play in single player. Perfection, where you have 30 turns and you're trying to get the highest score. I'll cover what score is later. Domination, which is you're trying to eliminate all other players. And Creative, which could be either Perfection and Domination, but has more options. Here you have the Tribes screen, where you've got all the tribes. Here are all the human tribes. These are the most commonly played ones, and then there's these special tribes down here. We're going to start up here with the regular tribes. We've got the Xinxi, which starts here. This is what their terrain generally looks like. They have a lot of mountains, and they start with the climbing tech, and 7 stars. The Imperious tribe spawns in a location like this. A lot of open land, a lot of forests, few mountains, and they start with the Organization tech and 5 stars. This is Barter. They spawn in a very forested area, usually. And they start with the Hunting tech and 5 stars. This is the Omaji tribe. They have a lot of flat space in their terrain. And they start with the Riding tech and 6 stars. Kitku starts with the Fishing tech, and they have a lot of, they're a mix between Imperious and Barter. They have some more forests, but they generally have a really good fish rates, and they start with the Fishing tech and 5 stars. This is Hudrik. They spawn with the most forests of any tribe, and they start with the Archery tech and 7 stars. This is Luxador. They spawn in something that looks very akin to Imperious, with really good resources. They don't start with any techs, but they start with a level 3 capital, which generates 4 stars per turn, and with 2 stars. This is Vengir. They have probably the worst spawn of every tribe. Their land is really barren, usually. They have a lot of mountains, but that's really it. They start with the Smithery tech and 5 stars. This is Zabasi. They spawn in a, savanna-looking area with a lot of farms. They start with the Farming tech and 5 stars. This is the Imo tribe. They have a mix of resources, so you never know what you're gonna get. They start with the Philosophy tech and 5 stars. This is the Quetzali tribe. They are in kind of the same boat as Imo, where they have a mix of resources. They start the game with Strategy and 7 stars. And finally, Yadak. Yadak has another mix of resources, and they start with the Roads tech and 7 stars. Now down here we've got the special tribes. These tribes are all a little bit different, and they have something special about them. We've got Aquarion here, that most of their units are amphibious, And they have some different units, like the crabs and the sharks. This is Illyrion, where they have a lot of forests and a lot of farms. They're able to build sanctuaries that generate stars, and they have unique units called Polytars, and they have dragons. This is Polaris. They are, like, very cold. They spread ice over everywhere using Gamis and Moonies. And this here is Cymanti. They start with a Shaman, which can boost units. I'll probably do an entire separate episode covering just Cymanti, because they are very different from every other tribe. So, we're going to start up a new game so I can show you the ropes. So, you're here at the title screen, you're going to click New Game. And then you could either select Domination, Perfection, or Creative. I'm going to select Creative because it has more options. Then we've got the Tribes screen. I'm going to pick Imperious. And then we've got the Selection screen. So, this is all the options. There's the Game Modes, Perfection, which is get the highest possible score before the time runs out. Domination, wipe all the other tribes from the face of the square. And Infinity, play however you like, forever and ever. So I'm going to play on Domination against one bot on normal difficulty. There are 4 difficulties: easy, normal, hard, and crazy. I'm going to play on the Lakes map type, but I'll explain all the map types. There's Dryland, which has no water at all. There's Lakes, which is dry land, but there's bodies of water in it. There's Pangea, which is there's water around the edges of the map, and one continent in the middle. Continents, where each players spawn on a continent surrounded by water. Archipelago, where it's mostly water, but there's a lot of islands. And Waterworld, where there's all water except for the islands that you spawn on. So I'm going to play on the Lakes map, and then each of these map sizes is just bigger. So I'm going to play it on the small map size. Click Start Game. Here I am. Mighty leader, you have been chosen to rule the Imperious tribe. Explore the world and expand your empire, but watch out for the other tribes. Objective: wipe all the other tribes from the face of the square. There can only be one. So, this is our starting location. You can see that we've got our unit here, that's called a warrior, and we've got our city underneath it. This border here around our city is how much land we have control of, and anything inside this land we can access. Everything outside of it we can't. So, because I have the organization tech, I'm able to harvest fruit. And since they're within my land, I can harvest them, like this, and that will generate 1 population. But if I come out here, I can't harvest this because it's not in my land. So I'm also going to harvest this other fruit because I have the stars to do so. I'm generating 2 stars per turn from my city. So I'm going to harvest this one. And boom, my city leveled up. You get to pick an additional reward. So you can pick a workshop, which will give you another extra star per turn, or you can take an explorer that will move around the map and reveal fog tiles. I'm going to take an explorer, and it's going to move around, and I'm going to see the land around here. See? There is the Zabasi tribe, who will be my opponent in this game. And then I've got my warrior. I can move them to any of these squares where there's a target. And because I have enough stars left over, I can train a warrior which costs 2 stars. And then, if I press end turn, my turn ends and they play. Then, it's my turn to move again. I don't have anything I can access inside my territory because I don't have any text for it. If I wanted to access this wild animal, I would have to get hunting, the hunting tech, for 5 stars. if I wanted to chop this forest, I'd have to get the forestry tech. If I wanted to take use of this crops, I would have to research farming. So here I am on turn 1 of the game. The game starts on turn 0. And I've got both of my units that I'm able to move. This is a village, and if I capture it, it becomes another city and starts generating me stars. So I'm going to move towards this village because I want to capture it. And I'm going to move this one towards this village because I want to capture that one. And if I take a look at the tech tree to see if there's any techs I want to buy, I don't really want to buy any of the techs right now. So I'm going to just train another warrior. And then end my turn. My opponent moves. And it looks like this middle village is going to be contested. Which means both of us are going to try to get it. But only one of us is going to be able to. Since I still want the village, I'm going to be going for it. And this one, I want this village to turn into a town. So I step onto it. Entering village will be ready to capture next turn. And since I look at my empire, I'm not really able to do anything. So I look at my tech tree. I can buy any of these techs. I want to buy the writing tech because that will give me access to this writer. And then I end my turn. They stepped onto this village. And I want this village. So, what I can do is this guy deals 5 damage to this one, and this guy deals 5 damage to this warrior. So I'm going to move this one forwards, and then attack. You can see that it's attacking because of this red circle around it. And I'm going to attack again. I know that I'll kill it because I can see the sweat coming off of the unit, which means I can kill it. So I'm going to kill it and step onto the village. You got a new task. Kill 10 enemies in battle to get a Gate of Power. So now I'm coming back here. And this is the other village that I stepped onto. So I'm going to click here to capture it. And now it's a city for me. And it's generating 1 star per turn. Now, if there was another fruit here, I could harvest it. Or if I had the fishing technology or the hunting technology. But because I don't, I'm going to instead train a writer in my capital. And then end my turn. So they hit my unit, but they didn't kill it. So that I can still capture this village. I can move this warrior. I want to see where that other warrior they had back here went. So I'm going to move here. And I see it went there and stepped onto another village. Now, because this target has black and red surrounding the outsides, it means if I attack it, it will deal retaliation, and this unit will die. So instead, I'm going to attack this unit here and kill it. Then I'm going to capture this village. And now it's generating me 1 star. So I'm going to harvest 2 fruit to upgrade the city. And I'm going to grab a workshop for 1 extra star. Because my income right now is 6 stars. And now it's 7 stars. This writer, as you see, it can move 2 spaces. So, if I want to come and try to capture this village eventually, I can move here. And then next turn I'll be able to hit it. I don't see any reason in coming over here because I can't move onto this mountain. I need the climbing tech in order to move onto this mountain. So instead I'm going to move him over towards the battle. Over here. So this is the start of my turn. It is turn 5. And I have 8 stars. I can move forwards and I can attack this unit, but it will only deal 2 damage or 2 damage to this one. So, what I am going to instead do is I'm going to hit this recover button. And this number here is going to go up by 4 because I'm inside friendly territory. If I was here and I healed, I would only heal 2 because I am not inside friendly territory. You see that I recovered 4 and my health is now 9. I could move this unit forwards and it'd deal 3 damage here. But I don't want this warrior to die, so I'm going to move it backwards and hopefully heal it in my next turn. I've got this rider here, and I want to hit this warrior, so I'm going to move it forwards 2 spaces, and then hit the warrior. And because my rider has the escape property, it can move again after attacking, and so I'm going to retreat, which is what it's called, to this fruit tile. And there's a village there. So now that I've shown you the basics, I'm going to quickly just play through the rest of this game, and then I'm going to explain some more things. And now, here I have captured this tribe's last city, and so I click them, and you have destroyed Zabasi. All their units disappear, and I have won this game. So I'm going to click Finish Game. So there's a few things that I need to tell you still before you can start playing. And one of those things is defense bonus. The defense bonus is indicated by this little shield around any unit's health. And if you click on one unit and hover over, it will show how much damage that would do in an attack. So this one, you can see, will do 5 damage to this archer, but would only do 4 damage to this archer. That's because this archer has a defense bonus. Defense bonuses can be gained from other things like archers and putting them on forests if you have the archery tech, or mountains if you have the climbing tech. See, as I move this guy onto here, it gains that defense bonus. And the other thing I didn't mention was when you level up a city to level 5 for the first time, you're given the choice between a park, which generates 1 extra star per turn, or a super unit. You very rarely ever take a park, because super units are just so much better. They have 40 health, and deal a lot of damage. They are very big tanky units, and they are very good at controlling space. Every upgrade to any city past level 5 will give you another option between a park and a giant. And the final thing, and the very last thing that we need to cover in this video, is these things called ruins. They're like villages, except once you capture them, they'll give you a nice one-time boost. Like this one here, resources give you 10 stars. The other things they can give you are units, like this veteran swordsman with 20 health. They can also give you techs, or they can give you an explorer, which will reveal surrounding territory. And the other thing they'll do is sometimes they'll give you 3 population towards your capital city, which can help with getting early giants. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've liked the video, please consider subscribing and leave a like. And I hope this video will be able to help you as you begin your Polytopia journey. In the next episode, we'll cover all the units and all the techs in this game. See you in the next one.